All right, friends. Today is Tuesday, the 12th of February, 2019. I'm Aaron Michael Eschenberg. This is your daily horoscope. What in the world is going on today? So we have the moon in the middle of Taurus. All right. The moon is going to start to square the sun, and it's also going to sextile Neptune and sextile the North Node. So the moon squaring the sun, you know, emotional moon in Taurus. We're talking about traditions. We're talking about the sun in Aquarius, which is future thinking. It's all about the community. You know, hand in hand together we cross the river. You know, the larger group of us, the more we can get done, the more we can accomplish together than a solo journey, right? It's beautiful. So when we have, you know, and I like, this is a fun way to look at this, when you have the moon squaring the node, or the moon squaring the sun right now in these two signs, you know, like we've had in the past, you've seen like memes pop up. It's like, oh, all you kids do on your phone these days, you know, and you see, you know, a bunch of people sitting around a dinner table or something, and everyone's just sitting there, you know, on their phone. But then you see like a meme from the 50s that's literally showing everybody on a train on a newspaper, just reading a newspaper, you know. So it's like, okay, it's not like you were really talking and being communicative and being community driven back then too. We were still isolated and in our own world, in our own little safe bubble, you know. So this is like kind of breaking traditions is where we're going to be headed here over the next 7 years, breaking traditions, and not thinking that anything that we're doing now is that entirely different. I mean, it is technologically different. You know, instead of a newspaper, we have this digital device. You know, everything is moving towards the digital. That is the age of Aquarius, the digital revolution. So, and even, you know, even before we had tablets, we had these stupid little, I saw a meme of it the other day. It's like this thing, it looks as, you know, as big as this astrology book. It's like this big thing you hold on to. It's filled with water, and there's like a button or two that you push, these like super hard buttons you smash your finger in, and these little like plastic donuts would like, the water pressure would shoot it up, and it'd go, you know, down this like little cylinder. Yay, I got all the donuts on the ring, or the rings on the, before video games, that kind of technology, before the phone, we were always distracted by something, you know. So don't be hard on ourselves because we're distracted by something, but it is a focus right now to remind ourselves, hey, wake up. Like, dude, there's somebody sitting right in front of you right there, you know. There's someone sitting right here. Like, talk to them, engage, you know, interact with other people. That is definitely a focus of the day. Get out of your own and interact. As well, the bigger aspect to me is the moon is caught in the middle and is a sextile between Pisces, Neptune and Pisces, and the North Node in Cancer. So, of course, when we've been talking about, you know, both of these, we're going to be talking about these for a while, because the North Node is going to be there for another year and a half, another 15 months, and Neptune up in Pisces will be there until 2025. So those are both going to be there for a very long time. So but the benefit in talking about this and understanding this, one, the Neptune in Pisces is all about expansion. And the emotional moon and our traditions, we're expanding our traditions. We're expanding our concepts. Yeah. And with it a sextile to the North Node, this is also about intuition and being pulled and following our gut. And this is also, the North Node can be very sarcastic when it's in the sign of Cancer, which is the opposite of what we kind of want. It's kind of self-defeating when we communicate with such sarcasm, you know. It's not beneficial to the conversation. It's funny. It can be quite hysterical and funny to other people. But if you're honestly trying to have a right here conversation, you know, sarcasm doesn't belong in it unless you're just trying to make it that much of a joke to show the other person that this needs to lighten up. Does that make sense? Because there's a purpose for the sarcasm. The purpose of the sarcasm is to get something to lighten up. You know, when it's like, oh, when we make something so funny, something so serious, so funny, it's just like, okay, we kind of take it away now. You know, comedians are amazing at that. Like Richard Pryor, crackhead, lit his self on fire, lit his house on fire, turned it into a stand-up comedy bit. It's amazing how you can do that. Stephen Colbert is a North Node in Cancer. A lot of comedians you'll actually find have a North Node in Cancer. It can be a very funny thing, but in the sense of like the overall community, when we're we're trying to like tie up loose ends. We're trying to build this bridge here. That bridge is built through communication, and sarcasm can just make it a cobblestone bumpy road where we're not really getting anywhere. We're spinning our wheels in the mud, and it's important to, in fact, be very direct. And the moon there in Taurus can be very direct. This is it, dude. So that's a definitely positive thing. The other thing we're going to talk about just for a moment here, as we're going to wrap this up, the North Node can also be, in Cancer, it can be like very martyr-esque. You know, like, I've done this for you, and I did this for you, and then I went out of the way and did this and this and this. And you did those things, yes, because you wanted to, because you care about the person. Did they ask for it? You know, we can kind of put ourselves out there in this spotlight, like, oh, I went out of my way and done all of these things, and then you just left and you went on your merry way. But it's like, but yeah, there was no further ties. That was it. When this concluded, I was, you know, like, I'm allowed this freedom, or, you know, we don't have to, you know, it's like sinking a hook into people. Well, I did this for you, so now you owe me something, or you need to acknowledge, you know, these things that I've done, and you need to be thankful, or you need to counteract this. It's like, well, there was no contract. If that's what you want, then you need to be direct about this, you know. Be very direct. Basically, that's where we're going here. Being direct, which can also be a little bit difficult and challenging when Mercury, our planet of communication and intellect, is in Pisces, which is more spacey. This is more, you know, like, oh, I'm lost in a dream world. Am I living my real life, or am I living in the fantasy, you know? Being on the phone, I'm living more in the fantasy than being in the real life. The real life is here, me, you, whatever. Well, then again, how are you viewing this right now? I'm not talking to a real human being. I'm talking, but I'm talking to a camera. This kind of gets all blurry, doesn't it? So, anyway, I think you catch where I'm going. Have a great day. Don't be too sarcastic, and don't be a martyr. All right? I love you. I wish you enough. We'll see you then.